Okay, we're going to talk push-ups. Great full body exercise where again a lot of people do wrong. There was a reason I called it a full body exercise. Push-ups, while it's an upper body dominant exercise, it's also very much a core exercise and a hip exercise. Alright, so we're going to take a quick look at the startup position when doing push-ups. So the startup position again is very, very important. So Harshani, if you can just get into a good startup position. So the startup position, you want the head nice in line with the upper back, core stable, flat spine, and you're good to go. We very commonly see people dropping their hips before even starting a push-up. You do not want to start in that position. You want to make sure your hips are nice and up, low back flat, and you're good to go. So let's have a few reps, Harshani. So remember, it's a full body exercise. The hips, the core, the upper back all working together. A few more, Harshani, keep going. Good stuff. Okay, while push-up is a great upper body exercise and a core exercise, there are many people who cannot even do one rep of a perfect push-up. So then it's always very important you regress them to an easier version. A very common regression we see is kneeling push-ups. So Harshani, if you can just show the viewers what a kneeling push-up is. We are not huge fans of this exercise because again it's very hard to maintain a nice flat back when doing this exercise, very difficult to get into a good position, very difficult to activate the hips, the glutes when doing this exercise. So a much better variation or a much better regression of this exercise is performing elevated push-ups with the arms. So again you can focus on that perfect posture when doing that exercise. So this is how we do it at Athletes Unleashed. We use an elevated box and we get the client to perform a few repetitions of this exercise for someone who cannot do a push-up. So we may just start them off in a position like this, again focusing on perfect posture. Head, upper back, spine nice and flat, and we would do this for a few weeks till they get better with this version. Once they get better with this version, we would reduce the elevation so we could make that exercise a little harder. So Harshan, so if you can just remove this pad from the other side. Okay, so just keep it there. Okay. Okay. So once they've got pretty good with that version, we would then reduce the level of the height of the box when doing the shoulder elevated push-ups. So Harshani, let's do a few reps. Just bring your feet a little forward. Okay, and let's go. So now we are making it a lot harder compared to where we started off. So again, once the clients gets better at this exercise becomes too easy for them, then you are ready to progress them to a normal push-up. So Harshani, let's get on the floor and just perform a few normal push-ups. So again, if a client is unable to perform a couple of reps with just the normal push-up, you would always want to make sure you go through this process before getting their hands on the floor. So Harshani, let's just do a couple of reps. Good, thanks. Okay, so once you've mastered the push-up, you can perform about 15 consecutive reps with great technique. It's then time to progress the push-up. We do not believe too much in high volume push-up training, performing 30, 40 consecutive reps when performing push-ups. We feel it's just too stressful on the shoulders, but we would much rather prefer you progressing to a harder version of the push-up. So our first progression is, once you can master the push-up, is the feet elevated push-up. So Harshan is just going to do a quick demonstration on how we do it at Athlete Unleashed. So again, you just get your feet up on an elevated bench or a box. Again, maintain that nice flat spine, and then you just go for a few reps. All the way down, Harshani. Good. Couple more. Go all the way down. Done. Okay, so once the client or the athlete can perform a feet elevated push-up, again they can go to 15, 20 reps doing that exercise. Again, it's time to make the exercise a little harder, and what we do is we do a weighted push-up. So let's go, Harshini. Go. Nice. All the way down, hips down. One more. So when doing this exercise, a very common mistake is people tend to push their elbows out, where the elbows are flaring out when doing this exercise. Very stressful on the elbows, shoulder joints, and again not very efficient when doing this movement. So the correct way of doing it is make sure you bring those arms a little closer and you have a 45-degree angle from the elbow to the rib cage. So this is the perfect way to do the push-up.